This is the ugly side of out-of-state Section 8 real estate investing. This owner is going to lose $600,000 to $700,000 by taking the wrong approach. This property right now is probably worth $25,000 to $35,000. He way overpaid for it. He got killed on this deal. Hey, what's up guys? John here. See these adorable houses? They're all over Ohio. You can get them for 80, 100K. And a lot of investors are seeing this, and they saw it the last couple of years, and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna go do that.
Section 8 is an absolute goldmine.
Section 8.
This is exactly how I buy up all the affordable housing in any given area.
Buy a property worth under 100K and then rent it out to the government for Section 8.
I got 500K, 400K. I'm gonna leverage it and go buy $1.6 million or $2 million worth of rental properties out there. I'll get a realtor, I'll get a property manager, I'll rent them all for $1,200 a month, and then I'm set for life, and I'm just gonna go on vacation.
You make a lot of money?
Yeah, I do all right for myself.
Well, how much money you make?
70,000 last month.
That's what was basically the game plan for a lot of people. They'd go on Instagram and TikTok and they'd see the gurus saying, I'm making 50K a month, I'm making 200K a month. But the reality is most of these investors are getting completely wiped out right now. I'm here in Ohio, I'm talking to a lot of different realtors, and I'm getting opportunities now to where I can buy these distressed portfolios. And I'm gonna give you a tour of one of these properties right now. It's a 16 portfolio, single family homes, half of which are dilapidated and destroyed by just having the wrong tenants, and the other half are rented, right? This owner is gonna lose $600,000 to $700,000 as a best case scenario on this. 600 to 700K. Now, when you hire a realtor, you hire a property manager, their incentives are to close a sale and to select a tenant. That's how they get paid. They're not in it for the long haul, like the property owner, like the investor. And this is what a lot of these out-of-state investors are going to be learning, is that the out-of-state real estate investor that's not on the ground, that's not investing his effort or her effort and time in going and walking these properties, or has a partner that is on the ground, that is doing the real work, and the incentives are properly laid out to where both sides really win over the long term and the short term, there's just no way there's going to be a long-term favorable outcome. And so this portfolio, it's all in pretty decent neighborhoods. I would say like C+ neighborhoods, and market rate rent is for a 3-bedroom, $1,500 to $1,600, like pretty good. But one thing this investor didn't realize is this specific house is listed as a 3-bedroom. He way overpaid for it. And what this looks like is there's 1 bedroom downstairs in the main level, and upstairs it's just an attic, and they put a wall in between the 2nd and 3rd bedroom. You can only get to the 3rd bedroom by walking through the 2nd bedroom. And so it's really like a 1 bedroom with a finished attic. He got killed on this deal. Just this little deal, it's probably, I don't know, it's probably worth like 30K now. He paid 3 times that number. And the place is just destroyed. It's obliterated in there. Like I'll show it to you. But you just start to look at this. You're like, okay, well, the real opportunities are going to be capitalizing on the greed of others, a lot of these out-of-state investors, because Ohio was one of these markets where everyone wanted to be last couple of years. And so I'll show you this house and many others on this channel, because I think we're going to see a major opportunity to capitalize on a lot of this here. Now, you look at Invitation Homes, honestly, it all comes down to the approach in which you take with Section 8 if you're successful. You look at Invitation Homes, with all of their properties, people don't know this, they have over 80,000 houses. All their properties, every 6 months, an advisor will walk through and grade the property, look at it, see what repairs need to be made, see if they need to evict and get the tenant out of there, and they get in front of the problem. That's what they do. What a lot of Section 8 investors do, and a lot of landlords will do, is they'll ignore it. They're like, okay, I'm getting paid out on this, I'm getting paid, it's fine, and they only look at it when they're not getting paid. And the problem now is with inflation, the high costs to change out a kitchen, to fix a leak, fix any of these problems, is going up every single year. It's getting more and more and more expensive. And the longer it takes to get in front of the problem, the more it costs the landlord. And then ultimately, the more it hurts all the investors and people that are associated with that landlord. And so with a company like Invitation Homes, they're getting in front of it right away, and they're doing a fiduciary duty to themselves and their investors to get the highest and best return for all the money that they're putting in. And that's why I think they're where they are. And that's why I think many of these out-of-state real estate investors are where they are, which is losing their shirts. I mean, it is shocking though when you start to look at how people think that they can invest in real estate out of state and just hire somebody for $100 a month to oversee a large chunk of cash and invest. I would never do it, ever. I would, however, partner with someone, if I was, doing a deal where the incentives were structured to where if that person wins, only in the scenario I win. If I lose, that person loses in a really big way. Not, some realtor who's getting, what are you getting, the 2%, 3% on an $80,000 purchase? It's nothing, right? But if it's somebody that's, they're along for the ride and they're gonna make way more money if the relationship is successful, that's a relationship that you wanna keep. That's a relationship that, that realtor is gonna do everything he can or she can to see a positive outcome on the other end. But yeah, that's, I guess people make money in capitalizing on the misfortune and bad decisions of other investors. That's how real estate works, and that's how a lot of big opportunities, a lot of big money is made in real estate, is being on the right side of the buy. What do you think about this? I'm gonna give you the tour. This is one of 16 houses that 8 of which look like this according to the realtor. This is the ugly side of out-of-state Section 8 real estate investing. This investor is probably going to lose $600,000 to $700,000 by taking the wrong approach. He accumulated roughly 16 properties at the height of the market in 2021. He deferred everything to a realtor. He wasn't here. He didn't know what he should be paying for these properties. So the realtor said he should buy this and buy this and buy this. And so he went ahead and he did. And he bought everything that the realtor sent to him. He hired a property manager. The property manager put the wrong tenants in, and the tenants completely destroyed the place. They lived like animals. I mean, because you can see all of the rodent feces. You can see all this all over the cabinets. This looks like mold growing here. Everything needs to get completely ripped out. This property right now is probably worth, I would say, $25,000 to $35,000. Given the fact that you probably have to put 40 into it, maybe more. The layout of the property makes no sense. And it's listed as a 3-bedroom, but when you walk the property, you'll see it's more like a 2-bedroom. And so the maximum allowable rent that you're gonna get on this property is about $1,300. But you're gonna be getting a 2-bedroom, not a 3-bedroom. And the real value of the house is probably somewhere, 90 grand, right? Somewhere in that range. Look, the tenant just, I don't know how people can live like this, but apparently some people can. And that's why it's so important never to outsource Section 8 real estate investing to a commissioned only realtor and a commissioned only property manager. Because it's probably like this. Let's say, for example, you could rent it for $1,300. How much are you gonna pay the property manager? 10%? $130 a month? $150 a month? Who's doing anything? Who's making anything a priority if that's their upside? $130. If you go to Denny's, you're probably spending $50 or $60 for 2, right? $100, $150 gets you nothing, and it's not going to get you anything in terms of service. And so if you're not on the ground or you're with someone that is, and the incentives are properly structured, you're going to lose your shirt, just like this investor is going to lose, at least $600,000 to $700,000, like at bare minimum. Because there's the downstairs 1-bedroom. You go up the steps, and this is what they're considering now, 2 more bedrooms. You have to walk through 1 bedroom to get to the other bedroom. Now, this looks like it was basically just a wall that was installed up here, and this is the attic. And so they sold it to this investor, this out-of-state investor who never visited the property, as a 3-bedroom, when in reality it's like a 1-bedroom with a finished attic. So this property is an absolute disaster. An absolute disaster. And they just destroyed the place on the way out. Like, really selecting the right tenant in general makes or breaks the entire investment. Selecting the right area, having the right team in place, is going to be the hard lesson that this investor learned. Look at this. No one wants to do this today. because the cost for materials through the roof. The cost for just labor, it's through the roof. And so when you're buying these cheap houses, you either need to get a smoking deal on the acquisition or the house needs to be in good shape. So this investor, with their 16 houses, the realtor told me that half of them look similar to this condition. So the property managers threw every tenant that applied basically into the house, and now the owner is just sitting there with a bunch of losses. I put an offer on this property at what I think is a fair price, and I didn't get a response, and I don't think I probably will, because it doesn't make sense to overpay for a property right now when you see all these mom and pop investors that are going through this. Like, I'm talking to so many different realtors, so many different property managers and people that are active in this area, and they said, John, in 2021 and 2022, everybody was buying out of state, everybody. And now a lot of them they're trying to unload their inventory. And that's one of the main reasons I came now, is because I think you're going to just start seeing so much distress, and there's going to be a lot of opportunity to acquire that distress for the right price. But this definitely isn't the right price. But soon I have a feeling that you're just going to start to see an influx of really, really, really motivated home sellers. Like right now, I'm already seeing a lot more foreclosures and auction deals, and I'm just seeing a lot more of that activity than I was, let's say, 90 days ago. I mean, it's really a 2-bedroom maximum. It's more of like a 1-bedroom with a finished attic though. So I don't know. Imagine outsourcing, this acquisition and then doing that 15, 16 times over to the same team. Absolute disaster. Now you see something like that, you might think, oh, Section 8 real estate investing, or investing in rental property is a horrible, horrible decision. But if you look at the reality of it, that situation is rare. That situation it started with one bad decision, followed by another bad decision, by another bad decision, all from that investor. If he or she did it right the first time, that would have never, ever gotten to that situation, that outcome. But at the end of the day, with everything in life, you only get what you put in. And so if you're putting in a little bit of effort, like that out-of-state investor, where he just basically stroked the check and, he allocated all the responsibility to other people, then yeah, that'll happen. But if you're putting 100% of your effort in to your business or to real estate investing, or, to whatever it is, and you're really working at it every single day, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to get in front of problems before other people even see them, and you're going to make a lot of money, right? And so this is what I think the big opportunity is going to be. Is going to be capitalizing on the greed that a lot of out-of-state real estate investors had here in Ohio in 2021 and 2022 by building out an incredible team that's on the ground, that's on top of the properties, buying them at the right price and selecting the right tenants, and using very little, if any, debt on these properties. And doing our homework and making sure that we're on top of it all. What do you think about this entire situation? Let's have a conversation about this below. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself what I believe is going to be the greatest investing opportunity in American history, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative or derogatory items in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com, click the link in the description just below this video, schedule a free call for tomorrow. Catch you next video.